Hey everybody, Jason Toomey here, Intellestate Law. We're here with another estate planning minute. All right, thing I wanted to talk about today was something that's come up with a couple of my clients recently. House ownership among siblings, right? How does this happen? Maybe mom and dad passed, they leave the house to all the kids because it seems like a good idea. Now we've got siblings who own real property together, maybe in this state, maybe in other states, maybe in a combination. All right, I always tell my clients this is a bad idea, almost always. Why? Couple of reasons. Let's talk about one, deadlock, right? Let's decide sibling A wants to sell the house, sibling B doesn't. What do? You know, there's a few remedies. They involve the court, and none of them are really favorable. They're all kind of costly, slow, and relationship straining, right? We want to avoid that. The other thing is, another bad thing is you could inherit each other's risks, right? If we have three siblings owning the house together, that house is vulnerable to, any one of them getting a creditor, getting an accident, getting a divorce, bankruptcy, anything like that. This is a joint asset that is at risk, right? Another thing is survivorship can override your will. Let's say the three of you own your property together. You own your property with two siblings. You want your share of mom and dad's house to go to your kids. That's not going to happen in a lot of cases if we have something called joint ownership, joint tenancy, right? There's tax implications. Let's say we want to add the younger sibling to the deed, right? I find this all the time. Parents will say, you know what, I'm just going to give the house to the children. Or we're going to leave the house to the oldest and he'll share it with his siblings. You know, if you decide to add someone to a deed, you're making a gift in a lot of cases, and that has tax consequences. Let's talk about ongoing friction, right, between the siblings, right? Who's going to pay for maintenance? Who's going to pay for improvements to the land? How do we decide what we should do? Where does that money come from, right? If we're just owning it on our own, huge amount of problems. And, you know, all of these kind of really add up to we should own the house in a better way. What's a better way? A trust, right? That's the short answer here is we use trust as the vehicle. We pass the house through the trust. That trust has the rules. It has the rules for how we're going to decide things against deadlock, how we're going to protect it from creditors from each other, how we're going to mitigate those risks, right? How survivorship is going to work. Is it going to go to the kids? Is it going to go to the other siblings? What do we want? We can set that up. And then there's no gift tax issues, right? If we're passing things through a trust, right? We can avoid all of that. And of course, you know, ongoing that friction, money, maintenance, that's all handled through a trust. So bottom line, we don't really want siblings to end up owning property together. We want to get ahead of that. And if they do, we want to fix it with a trust. So that's just a good thing to talk about. Talk about your estate planning attorney. Talk to us about that if you're in that situation or think you might be putting your kids in that situation. All right, so that's just another estate planning minute here. Intellestate Law, Jason Toomey. We'll catch you next time.